Resting somewhere upon the sea, there is a peculiar island. This ever-shifting continent features unique landscapes, biomes, and organisms, all which come together to cultivate a lively and fascinating natural ecosystem. This is, of course, the Land of Rust. This program will serve as an introduction to this ecosystem and how its many different species interact in the competition of survival. It is believed that life originated in the sea. This holds true in Rust, as every organism begins their story in this land on a beautiful beach. Here, they awake from their slumber, naked and vulnerable. There is a small kinship in the weakness that is shared by all nakeds, and they may be peaceful with each other for a time. However, deep down, they are all terrible, rotten little bastards. All it takes is one naked to step out of line before the chaos ensues. A shrill sound marks the end of this creature. Nakeds are ill-equipped to harm each other, so these fights are somewhat comical to observe. But alas, the real adventure begins once the naked makes progress inland. The naked's first priority is to find a place to roost. They will collect nearby twigs and rocks to create a fortified den, shielding them from the elements. This is quite a tumultuous endeavor, as predators loom nearby at all times, and are just as eager to obtain resources. Forming a pack provides a mighty advantage. Most creatures establish their dens near these places, known as monuments. These bountiful reservoirs of loot are some of the few constants on the island. The bounty they hold is a magnetic force for clans, groups, and solos alike. Early in the wipe, the fights within monuments can define a pack's progression. Losing one of these pivotal battles may cause a player to simply give up. Tensions run high, and the howls of toxicity can be heard at all times.
Brayden, you fat slut!
On occasion, several monuments will be within close proximity to each other. If the loot of one monument was alluring, then the loot of several is nigh irresistible. The area between these several locations is one of harsh competition, often with several large packs vying for control. The common violence will earn this strip of land the name Detroit Pass. This fight occurred with the neighbors that reside just up the hill, and would mark the beginning of a bitter rivalry. Eventually, the primitive scuffles give way to harsh battles as more powerful gear becomes common. This pack obtains their first level 2 weapon with some well-placed revolver shots. Primitive battles were often drawn out and took place over open ground. However, once SMGs and rifles become common, the usage of cover is far more important. A short spray can spell doom for any creature.
Why is your teammate shooting me, bro? You should be worried about this
Primlocked specimens are outcompeted at almost every turn, and may be pressured out of the area. They have a final defense against the predators that hunt them. The grub. Lying in wait with cheap weaponry, they single out lone hunters and strike with a swift ambush. The neighbors turned rivals have struck once more. Outraged, the creature rushes out to exact revenge, these kills serving no purpose other than to satiate bloodlust. A hunting style more hated than grubbing is that of door camping. Door camping is conducted out of malice or simple desperation. Catching prey off guard as they attempt to leave their burrows can be an effective way to collect their gear as well as piss them off. In this particular instance, the door camping precedes a far greater intrusion. A raid. Drilling into another pack's den may be done for a variety of reasons. These include resource acquisition, removal of potential competition, and just plain spite. Of course, raids can create a lot of noise, and a single mistake may be a raider's downfall. Counter-raiders, smelling blood in the water, are already making their way over. High explosive negligence may have cost these raiders everything. Scavengers pick over the spoils after the counter-raiders have departed. But another rocket brings them right back into the feeding frenzy. A raid can be a profitable bounty, but a pack must be able to defend their prey from other ambitious predators. Let's pause for a brief moment. Leaving the foobarred existence of Detroit Pass and traveling roughly 2,000 meters, we find a completely different way of living. Some creatures ignore the allure and inevitable violence of the monuments and choose a simpler lifestyle. Their dens are designed to be less optimal and more comfortable, resembling less a base and more of a cottage or home. Why here, the organism begins to venture out on a hunt. A very different type of hunting. It is an interesting dichotomy of the Rust continent. Most players are like a ravenous pack of jackals, but others can be as unbothered as a capybara. Returning to Detroit Pass, the violence only escalates. Most of the packs in the region have obtained quality weaponry, resulting in drawn-out combat.
This is why I have friends, so they'll make sure my back is covered.
You're gonna die!
Of course, there is always a bigger fish, and eventually every pack must log off. Unfortunately, little can be done against offline raiders. As their den crumbles away and their foothold in this area withers, a new pack will rise to dominance, and the cycle of Rust will continue anew. This program served as a brief introduction to the Rust ecosystem. That being said, in a land as diverse and ever-changing as this, we are hardly scratching the surface. Next time we visit this tumultuous land, we will focus far closer on the different habitats, niches, and species that make up this bountiful ecosystem.